Freelancing has become so popular within the interior design industry. It allows you to have freedom to be able to take jobs as and when you want, and often it can be quite rewarding financially. However, there are a few things to think about when you start freelancing. Firstly, the market is competitive, so you do need to make sure you're fully ready to go. But also, you may find that you might have to wait for your first freelance job. When a company looks for freelancers, the first thing they do is they go out to their regulars. That means until you start getting your foot in the door, you might have to wait a few weeks until you're booked. It might even be a month or two. That way, get your finances in order. You don't want to be in a situation where you're desperate for work because you've decided to freelance and you haven't got any money coming in. When you're going in for a freelance role, the reason why that company needs freelancers is because they've bottlenecked at a particular part of the project. It might be a case that they've got lots of work in and they've had some extra projects come in which they need someone to help out on the pitches for. It might be a case they're now at a stage where they've got lots of technical drawings in, so they need to bring someone in to alleviate that pressure on the technical drawings. So when I get a freelance job in and they say they need a freelancer, they will have a specific task in mind. And for a specific project, it will be, can we get someone to do a drawing package in Vectorworks for this retail project? So they're looking for someone with retail experience, Vectorworks and technical drawing. Rarely will they ask me for a junior. It's usually for middleweight and senior, but they may offer you a freelance contract directly. But do be warned, freelancing is fantastic and it does give you a certain element of freedom, but it can sometimes cut your career a little bit short in regards to it can stagnate. You tend to find with freelancing in companies, they don't give you as much responsibility as they would a permanent employee. They perhaps won't let you go to presentations. They probably won't let you see a project through from concept through to completion because they'll have a permanent member of staff. They want that permanent member of staff to really represent them long term with those clients. So when you're thinking about freelancing, it can be a good stopgap in between jobs as a junior interior designer, but it can mean that you might want to keep looking for a permanent job just to really get those projects under your belt and in your portfolio. Because with regards to projects, if you're only working on a certain part of a project, your portfolio isn't getting expanded. When people think about freelancing, they also think about setting up their own business as well, which is fantastic. I did it myself. I absolutely love running my own business. But my goodness, am I pleased I earned some money and making mistakes in a permanent job first. When you run your own business, a lot of it is to do with getting business in and also trying to get payment as well and finding new clients whilst you're dealing with existing clients. That interprets in the design industry that actually you'll probably find that actually the percentage of designing you do is quite slim at the beginning. So if you are thinking about setting up your own business, that's fantastic. But just remember that actually it might be good to just really develop those core skills in a design studio, make your mistakes while someone else is paying for you, and develop that portfolio before you go out on your own. That's not to say you shouldn't, but it does mean that when you do go out on your own, you're going to be a little bit more secure with all these skills that you can bring to the table, and also a bigger network of people that you can contact. With freelancing, there will be periods of time where it will go quite quiet. And this is where it's so important throughout freelancing, when you're busy as well, that you are networking. You want to be attending events. You want to be seen, out of sight, out of mind. You want to have a business card ready at any point. So when you go to an event, you can hand out your business card and they can contact you. You don't want to be relying on someone logging your details on your phone and it just goes into the abyss of all their other contacts. So make sure you have business cards available. You never know when you're going to be in your regular coffee shop and you say, actually, if you want a refurbishment, you could contact me. So make sure you have a business card ready. Keep networking. Make sure you allow time at least once a week to go on LinkedIn and be active. Connect with new people, comment on other work, and make sure that people know that you're available as well or coming available for projects. So if you're freelancing, ensure that is a big part of your week in developing your network and making sure you're seen, because when you're quiet, there's no point doing it then. It's really important to do it continuously. As companies recruit freelancers because there's a particular stage of work that they need doing, it's really advisable to have a number of portfolios ready. You may have your main portfolio, but you perhaps have some separate PDFs. So you have a technical one that has just visuals in it, say for example Cinema 4D visuals or SketchUp visuals. So when you see a freelance job, you send your main portfolio, but then you top it up with a technical PDF if they're looking for someone technical. That means you're just sort of giving them that extra confidence of what you can do. So with freelancers that I have, we often have a big folder of all this different work, and it's also, we have a portfolio that maybe have the retail work at the top, and then the hospitality, one that has their residential work, and then their retail work, and then various separate PDFs, which I can top up when I send it to a client just to say, this person really does know what they're doing. So do think about having different portfolios and CVs and work samples, because with freelance, sometimes they don't even interview. They want you to hit the ground running. Also with freelance, nowadays, they will want you to have your own computer, and software-wise, often they will request this software. Since the pandemic, software companies have adjusted. You no longer need to pay for a whole yearly subscription. You can do it on a monthly basis, which means if you are quiet for a month, you may not need to pay for that software. But do be aware you need to be ready to go if you're a freelancer, because a job will come in on a Friday afternoon for you to start on a Monday.